All right, staying with the vice president, J.D. Vance calling out New York Congresswoman AOC after the comments she made, or at least tried to make, at the Munich Security Conference over the weekend, even saying this to our own Martha McCallum after watching a clip of the Congresswoman.
Martha, you bring me on your show and you show me the most uncomfortable 20 seconds of television I've ever seen. Does anybody really believe that AOC has very thoughtful ideas about the global world order or about what the United States should do with our policy in Asia or our policy in Europe? No, this is a person who is mouthing the slogans that somebody else gave her.
Joining me now is Fox News contributor and Steamboat Institute fellow Kaylee McGhee White. Kaylee, great to see you, my friend. Ocasio-Cortez tried to clean this up in the New York Times, writing the following: everyone's got this story wrong, that this is about me running for president. I could give whatever about that, to be honest. If I were running, if I had made a decision or anything about being president or Senate or anything like that, frankly, I say this all the time. Am I acting like someone who is trying to run? No, because I'm there for a very different specific purpose. Kaylee, what purpose? To confuse us? Help us make some sense of this.
Hey, well, in all fairness to AOC, international politics is a far cry away from her real subject of expertise, which is obviously economics. So I guess we can't fault her too much for this. Look, to use a bit of Gen Z slang here, her appearance in Munich was obviously a soft launch of her 2028 ambitions, and boy, did it fall flat. And in fact, she knows that it fell flat. That's exactly why she ran to the New York Times to try to clean up after herself afterwards. And I do think that she and some of the other younger Democrats in the party are going to run into this same issue where she has made the mistake of mistaking social media following for real world appeal. Just because you can clap back on X, just because you have a big number of followers on X or on Instagram, does not mean that you have the charisma and, most importantly, the knowledge to actually hit the campaign trail and convince voters to vote for you on a national platform. Voters saw that the hard way this past weekend with her in Munich, and I'm sure that they're going to see much more of that if she actually does launch a bid in 2028.
And I think it was both Democrats and Republicans who saw that over the weekend and kind of came to the same conclusion. Well, at least most Democrats. One socialist New York magazine is comparing AOC after that to President FDR. Yep, those words just came out of my mouth. Finally, we have some new Democratic leaders who are making FDR's political argument that working class economic populism is not just morally right, but also necessary for both Democrats' electoral success and for the defense of democracy itself. Kaylee, would you trust AOC to get the country and world through, I don't know, a Great Depression, maybe a world war like FDR did?
No. And again, this is why AOC ran to the New York Times in the first place, because she's used to this sort of glamorizing treatment from the liberal media. The problem is they tried this with Kamala Harris back in 2024. They tried to make her into something that she was not. And it didn't work. It did not convince voters that she was up for the job. The exact same thing is going to happen to AOC. She is going to receive that same sort of favorable treatment from the media, but it is not going to move voters when it comes to the actual issues that affects them.
Meantime, most of the president's cabinet, including Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, meeting last night to discuss their midterm strategy as they work to get on the same page before hitting the road this election season. J.D. Vance yesterday with Martha said, I think our approach should be, look, do you want to give the government back over to the people who led to what we just saw the past 4 years, or do you want to keep it in the hands of the people who've delivered the last year plus? As the cabinet tries to figure out the strategy, shouldn't that be it? Isn't the VP onto something here? I understand the economic messaging that you want to do and the border messaging, but shouldn't it be just a broad comparison? Do you want that or do you want this?
Well, and it should also point to the fact that Democrats have zero regrets from the 4 years that Americans experienced under Biden, and they would do the exact same thing over and over and over again. Just look at what Virginia Democrats are proposing in that state now that they've taken complete control of the state government. That is the future that Democrats want for the entire country. And look, the Trump administration has had a remarkable year. Inflation is falling, GDP is growing, murder rates have hit an all-time low in the past century, the southern border is secure. sure. And just think what would happen if Republicans in Congress started taking seriously their responsibility to pass all of these accomplishments into codifying law. That is the real problem here, is that President Trump cannot do this on his own. So yes, the White House is going to bring its accomplishments to the forefront in the State of the Union. However, they also need cooperation from Republicans in both the House and the Senate to do their jobs, which is what the American people sent them there to do.
Yeah, filibuster complicates that a little bit, but we'll see if the Republicans ultimately maintain it or do away with it to get that 51 vote threshold. Kaylee McGhee White, thank you for your time. Always great to have you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.